everybody.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
I am Janae Strother.
I'm Sean Spencer.
Back.
We are back.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta go out and hold up.
Come on. The lion. The lion. New man on it, so fine. Kirk Cousins.
All right. I am Janae Strother.
I am Sean Spencer.
And this is Let's Talk Football.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. Ladies and gentlemen, happy New Year's Eve. I hope 2021 did everything for you, or if it was a struggling year, you got through it. Praise be to God. I'm glad you got through it, man. I'm wishing you the best. Happy New Year and welcome you back to Let's Talk College Football. And oh my goodness, I got a treat for you guys today. We are going to go recap a couple of the bowls, the college football bowls that we've had. We're going to talk about the New Year's 6 bowls coming up. And to help me break this down, I got some people here that I'm telling you, they're in high demand because they are making things happen. They are starting big things. Oh, my goodness gracious. First and foremost, I got to bring in my guy. Got to bring in the guy, the guru, the inside man in the SEC. Host of his show This Week in the SEC, Anthony Handy.
What's good? What's going on, man? Happy New Year to you, my brother.
Yes, sir. Happy New Year.
We ready to go, man. We ready to go. I said I was gonna try and keep Shay. I said I was gonna try and keep him blocked up. I'm excited, boy. Skip Bayless. I'll tell you what. Sean Spencer, my bad. I'm excited. I get excited. I think I'm sitting across the desk with Skip. Sean Spencer, I'm excited. Boy, I tell you what. Them dogs is coming today to extract that revenge for that loss against Alabama. They ready to play them Wolverines, boy. They're ready. Kirby said he got them ready. He got them on a chain. They're like DMX in the video where he got the pit bulls and they just going, He in the background going, what? I'm ready.
Let's get it.
Hi, how are you, sir? It's good to see you. I'm very happy to be here.
Hey, look, there's somebody that might quarrel with that readiness. Tom Brady's biggest fan and also Michigan's most diehard fan, Kate Alverson.
Hello from
What
the
up,
Wolverine State.
Woo-wee.
The Wolverines are hungry.
Yeah.
They came from unranked to number 2, and they're coming for your dogs.
Okay, well, they better be ready. They better be ready.
Hutchinson and Mr. King Ojabu want your quarterback.
They better be ready. That's all I got to say.
Whatever he does.
Oh,
Stetson.
we starting early.
Are we just what we doing now? Is this what we doing already? I thought we were gonna get into it a little bit before we got started.
Hold up. Right. Back it up. Hold up. But to give you guys a little sneak peek of what we're about to do. But look, hey, this is the best time of the year. We hope you had a Merry Christmas, and we hope you're going into the years. Yes,
all day.
This is it.
I was like, I got my presents. Can it be December 31st now? Let's go.
Let's get it. Yo, but hey, look, real quick, because not all of our teams are in bowl games. Meaningful bowl games. I got to shout out some of the bowls that have happened thus far. What?
I love you, brother, but that bowl game.
I don't hear it.
Wait. I love you, and you got dogpiled, and I'm not trying to dogpile you, but I got to say it. It might not have been meaningful to your team, but it definitely was meaningful to them Gamecocks. I'm just saying.
Now, hey, let's go right into it. North Carolina got stomped by South Carolina, and honestly, it was rough.
I didn't even see my shirt had a hole in it. I just almost showed everybody my whole testicles over here. Go ahead. North Carolina, South Carolina. Come on, raise up. Take your shirt off, spin around your head like a helicopter.
It was a rough game, and the South Carolina quarterbacks were out of the game because they're in their second and third string quarterbacks, and they were running the ball. They ran all over North Carolina, and we just couldn't keep up with them.
I felt bad for you, my brother.
Yeah.
That was
rough. It was rough. My buddy Will Kramer, who's a diehard, he lives in South Carolina, diehard Gamecock fan. He kept hitting me up, just saying, "Yeah, you see what's going on, right?" And I'm like, thanks, Will. Appreciate it, buddy.
You mean to tell me he didn't hit you with a Captain Kirk throwback to when he used to be your quarterback? You like that? He didn't hit you with that?
He didn't do that because we're both going through our Washington misery.
I got you.
We're both dealing with that. But look, talking about some other games. Hey, Anthony, you're in the state of Oklahoma. Your guys played and they dominated Oregon, man. What you think, man?
I think that this goes to show what a team of young men that are determined, because I know that after the way their season went in the end, where they lost to Baylor, and then they lost Bedlam, they had high hopes and expectations for that season, and it didn't pan out. And then after everything was all said and done, their coach just says, "Hey guys, I'm out. I've had plans for this for like 6 months. I'm out." Mm-hmm. So it shows what Bob Stoops is all I gotta say. That's the the key words in this.
Yes.
Bob Stoops. Bob Stoops came in as the interim coach for one game and showed everybody what Oklahoma was supposed to look like this season.
I agree with you.
I love Bob Stoops.
Yeah.
I've always had mad respect for him as a coach. He knows what he's doing in Oklahoma, and I was proud that he coached those boys on after the defeat of losing Lincoln Riley to USC to a victory. Because that's deflating when your coach leaves you.
Very true.
You don't know what the future looks like. And those boys went out there and played with all their hearts.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
I thought that was kind of a stabilizing force. That thing could have turned south very quickly with how he exited. We all know, and their main guy from a year ago, Spencer Rattler, leaving. But the fact that he came in, and even in the little pregame interview, he was like, "Look, no holds barred. This is one game. This is it. I'm telling these guys we're going to go pull out all the stops." They went for it on 4th downs. They sat there and took shots on defense. They did what they needed to do. And you're absolutely right, Anthony. Bob Stoops was the entire change of that game. You know what I mean? They look good, man.
Matter of fact, I hope he didn't set the bar too high, because
I was thinking, I was like, man, well, can he just come back? I mean,
he said it was one game only.
If Brent Venables comes out the gate and stumbles the first 3-4 games, there might be a petition to hire Bob Stoops back. Because that's what the Oklahoma fans wanted all season. They wanted a dominant team. They were dominating on offense. Remember, we talked all season. They dominate on offense, but they're typical Big 12, no defense. They went in there and they beat Oregon. They beat Oregon like Oregon owed them lunch money. Mm-hmm. They beat Oregon like Debo beat Big Red. You understand what I'm saying? That's how it went down.
Oregon's got a great defense.
Right.
I mean, they've been touted all season with their defense.
Yeah,
and
with Thibodeau.
Oklahoma had an answer for it.
All day.
And look, we can't, I mean, both teams are dealing with a similar issue. Oregon's coach, we got to talk about that. They were playing with an interim coach that he's done it before, but he's not the guy that's going to take on from the future. We know about Cristobal leaving and then Dan Lanning now coming over there. But he's not in there yet. So Oregon had to deal with that. Hey, they put up a respectable 32, but yeah, this game was Oklahoma all day.
That was a while. That game was a while from the
get-go. Talking about like when Bob Stoops' son scored the touchdown and the hug was priceless.
Yeah. That was, and as I said, that's something straight out of a Hallmark movie. You know what I mean?
I love that.
Here comes his son playing for this program that his dad coached and won championships at, and he just wanted to have just one opportunity. He had that one shot that Eminem talks about. That one shot, that one opportunity. This was his son got to have his Rudy moment.
Yeah.
Oh, that was beautiful.
I loved it.
I was really happy for them.
Yeah. Let's go into the Big Ten a little bit. Wisconsin pulled out the W last night against Arizona State. They looked good after they've won like the last, I believe, 5 or 6 straight. Like they've had a great second half of the season. But again, I think the game that shocked everybody, you and I, all of us have talked about prior to coming on the show, Purdue getting the W against Tennessee. Katie, in the end of that game, was just, it had you on
Yeah.
the edge of your seat.
Craziness. And it
Yeah.
was all down to the refs and what the refs saw, and
Yep.
you know, can't overturn sometimes what the whistle says.
Yeah, and boy, Josh Heupel had some very colorful things to say to the.
Oh, yes.
Listen, you know what? You know what?
Yep.
If any of you are watching this show right now, and you have any questions about whether or not you would be able to live if you lost your hearing, those of us that are huge fans of football and basketball and baseball have become very adept at lip reading. And
Yep.
Josh Heupel had some very colorful things to say to that ref.
Oh, he did.
Some very
He did.
colorful
And
things
look,
to say to that ref.
Not
If-
suitable
if-
for television.
Right. If you ever need to know, just look at him. The first thing he does with the headset is he pulls it up. So he's like, look, I'm not going to yell into their ears. Then you know he's about to come at them with something extra. You know what I mean? And he like, look, let me hear what you're saying again. I thought that was the funniest part.
Oh,
But-
he gave him, huh? I ain't hear what you say.
right.
Say it again.
Yeah, come on.
Listen, if you for those of you that don't understand, I didn't grow up in the hood because we moved to the suburbs, but the neighborhood I lived in as a little boy had a little bit of hood in it. And that's the thing back in the day. If somebody lean in on you like this and say, what say, I didn't hear you, they can ready to steal on you. Like, if that was a street fight, that ref would have been picking himself up off the ground.
Oh gosh, yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But
oh yeah.
for those of you that saw it and are saying that Tennessee got robbed, we talked about this before the show. Forward progress is determined by what the referee sees. Not, unfortunately, in the case of Tennessee, not when the whistle blows. The referee had already determined his forward progress is stopped here. But he's watching the play. He didn't blow the whistle. By the time he blew the whistle, the ball had already crossed the plane. But the referee had already determined progress was stopped at the half-yard line.
If you watch the thing in the replay of it is actually robbed by the slow motion, because you're not seeing the time as it happened. If you actually see on the play, the ref comes at the bottom of the screen and starts waving it off and starts saying, play, forward progress is stopped. And then he all of a sudden pulls it out there. And as you see, as he's running on there in normal game speed, he gets hit. That slows him down a little bit. Then they kind of catch his legs and they're struggling. And then that's it. He's not moving. And then at the very end, he takes a little extra lunge for it. And his guy is even trying to pull him. And then once his guy stops pulling him, that's when the ref comes in there and does it. I think it's a rough. I mean, because by the letter of the law, yeah, Katie, what do you think? Because by the letter of the law, it was down. But at the same time, he's like,
but it's those are tough losses.
Yeah.
All I got to say is I was very happy that Tennessee took some of Michigan's baggage off their hands with Joe Milton. Thank God he's gone.
Well, I will say this too. There wasn't a whole heap and heck of a lot of defense in this game. I mean, both teams, 93 points between the two teams. Yeah. Total yardage was 1,243 yards. And 900 of that was passing yardage. There wasn't a whole heap of defense. All Tennessee had to do was come up with a stop here or a stop there, and that play would not have mattered. Period.
Yeah, both sides. Sides.
You
could have made one stop or another, and it would have changed the whole outcome.
The Big Ten's broken down. I don't get to watch Purdue a lot, but from what I do see, that they're a good team. They could really do great things if they clicked more.
Yeah.
And honestly, I really want to shout out their quarterback. I talked about him in our little group chat. Aiden O'Connell. This guy was a walk-on. He had scholarships at smaller schools, but he was walked on here at Purdue. He told a story yesterday that he was 8th out of 9 quarterbacks. You know what I mean? In practice squad, they didn't even let him play quarterback. He was a receiver. You know what I mean? He was that far down. He stuck it out, waited for his opportunity. You talked about it, Anthony. Spoiler makers. They knocked off Iowa and Michigan State both when they were in the top 10, top 5, I believe. This guy could do it. And you talked about all those yards, 534 yards in 5 touchdowns by the. I mean, Aiden O'Connor was doing. Hendon Hooker dominated, had him over 300 himself. And
how many touchdowns? And he had 5 also.
So I mean, it was a great game. And anybody that thinks
they should have changed the name to the $5 footlong bowl because they were both just
they was all 5-timing. Hey, but anybody thinks that they do like that these bowls mean nothing or that these bowls are not important. Hey,
they are.
You saw South Carolina. That was definitely important to them. You know what I mean? Similar in this game with Purdue and Tennessee. And it was one of those you really didn't want to end. It was kind of like, oh, man, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? You know?
Definitely not. I actually was
close ones.
I'm actually surprised that Heupel didn't just go ahead and say, let me kick the field goal and put it in Purdue's hands to have to score a touchdown to win. Because once he didn't go for the field goal, all Purdue had to do was kick a field goal.
Yeah. That was interesting that they did go for it on that fourth. And that, I mean, but, you know, I bet his kids were like, let's go. Come on, we can do it.
Yeah, I mean, Jabari Small ran for $180.
Right.
So, with I mean, you got your offense, your running backs have been clicking all day, and they've been virtually unstoppable. I get it, but in this, you know, do you want to win, or do you want to have a moral victory in a loss?
Well, right.
I would have gone for the field goal.
Yeah,
but that's just me.
Right. Exactly. You get the points.
It's a coaching decision. The coach decided. That's what the coach and the offensive coordinator decided, and cost them the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we got to do it. I don't know. I got to send the link to Nathan. Got to shout out my guy Nathan's team, the Maryland Terrapins. Oh my goodness,
that boy did some work.
Thank you, because I hate VT. So Maryland put it on. Virginia Tech 54-10.
Oh,
they just annihilated them.
I didn't even know they could score. I lived in that area up there by you, Sean, for 18 years. I don't think I've ever seen Maryland score that many. I didn't know they could score like that.
I
didn't know that either, Anthony, to be honest with you.
I have not seen it. Shout out to Tua's little brother, who they were saying that on the broadcast instead of calling his real name, Taulia Tagovailoa. He balled out to over 250 yards, a couple touchdowns, and he was leading that team. But the game was over fairly early. And
it was.
Very early.
Virginia Tech didn't show up.
No. They had an interim coach in there, but, you know, you thought maybe Blackshear can get something going, but that they didn't look that good. They didn't.
I'm happy. I like seeing the Big Ten do well.
Now, do you think their incoming coach at Virginia Tech will be able to do something?
He's going to need to get his recruits. I'm interested to see who left or who's leaving from Virginia Tech, but they were struggling. I mean, they were 6-7, so they barely made it into the bowl. And you know they're in transition, but the ACC is down. So
the reason that I asked that question is because remember I didn't just cover University of Georgia all season. I also covered Savannah State, and Savannah State's head coach left Savannah State to take a coaching position with Virginia Tech. He's going to be on the coaching staff. So now that's another school I got to follow just to see how they're doing with him there. I think he's going to be like a defensive assistant defensive coordinator or something like that. Nice.
Now, and that's the thing. Are they going to bring? We got to look into their recruiting this year. Who did they bring in? How many big name guys? And then how also do they work in the system? But they have a good start. Just bringing recruiting a new culture in, right? Especially in that area.
The coach takes over and doesn't have much time to bring in talent.
Yeah,
it's hard.
You got to get that area.
It's real easy to lose your DC guys to Ohio State, to West Virginia, to Michigan, to hell. Caleb Williams is from DC,
right?
Caleb Williams when I'm going to Oklahoma.
But even in that area, if you're looking at that Virginia Tech area, you're sitting over here. You got schools like Appalachian State now; they're doing good. North Carolina State are taking. Wake Forest is taking. You know what I mean? These are all schools. Virginia is now decent and taking people. They're
the
all
portal
these
makes it interesting too.
Exactly, and it's crazy. That's why some of these younger
up
schools
a lot of different things in college sports.
Yep.
We talked about that. We talked about that. I think it was either on our show on Tuesday, Monday. We talked about that. And I personally, my personal thought process is I think they need to roll it back a couple of years where if you transfer, you still maintain your eligibility, but you have to sit for a year and you have to play the following season. I mean, you can't make a kid stay there, but you got to get at least a minimum 1 year commitment out of him once he transfers.
Oh, I agree. And
because go ahead.
In our state in high school, if you school of choice and you don't move into the district, if it's for sports, you have to sit 1 year and then you can play the next year. But you have to gain that eligibility in the district before you can play at the high school level. And I think that would be smart to do that at college, or else kids are going to go portal to portal to portal to team to team.
Exactly.
Tate Martell, DeJuan Mathis, we're talking to you.
Yeah. And it's happening more fluidly that they're just continuing to keep jumping
between
team.
Recruiting in the portal. It's interesting how. Yeah.
Well, here's a question for you, not to sidetrack the agenda, but here's a question for you, Sean. Opting out, since we're talking about things, with the opt-out, and somebody raised a question with me, the guy that I was talking to today in the 7-Eleven, I ran into a fellow Georgia fan with his Georgia gear on, and we had a long talk.
Give me 1 second, because you preceding what we about to do.
Okay, go ahead.
I was about to hit it. I was about to talk about the New Year's 6 bowls, and speaking of, I was going into the first one that we played, the Peach Bowl, Michigan State, number 10 Michigan State versus number 12 Pittsburgh. But 2 key components to that team and 2 Heisman finalists, Kenneth Walker from Michigan State and Kenny Pickett, opted out of this game. The game was great nonetheless, and we ended up finding out some of the other quarterbacks and seeing what Pittsburgh came to play with. So it's very interesting to see. But Anthony, go ahead, say what you were saying.
Well, let me touch on the game first. Pitt, Sean and I talked about this before the show. Pitt, I think, is a team to watch in that conference next year, just because they wound up, their second stringer came in and he broke his collarbone, and then the third stringer came in and that kid played his face off. And I'd be interested to see with some coaching up, because it probably wasn't expected that he was going to get any playing time unless Pitt built up a big lead. And with some coaching up, I think he could be quite nasty. I think he could do some damage. I think he could do some damage.
Don't underestimate the third string quarterback.
Oh, absolutely not. I think there's a personal reason why you have for saying that. I don't know why Dimple Chin likes to throw trophies. I don't know that guy. But
Tom Brady. Are you talking about my Tommy? I mean, look where he came from at Michigan.
Oh man. Oh wow.
Ha.
Hey, Sean, you know what though? As bad as that was, he's not the worst one. The worst, Gronk, is the one that's real bad. I did not know that Gronk hit a doggone baseball, tried to hit a bunt with the Lombardi and dented it. And because of that, there was a policy that he was no longer allowed to touch the Lombardi.
Oh, I knew that one.
Wow.
I hadn't heard about that one until last week.
But Tom Brady came up down from nowhere at Michigan to be the star of their team. I mean, he had to fight for his position. So we look at the third string quarterback, and like right now, Michigan's got a two-man quarterback team almost with JJ and Kate. So, but we'll talk about that later. But the opting out, I will just say one thing. Aiden Hutchinson was talked about opting out of games down in the Orange Bowl, and he goes, "Why would you want to do that to your team? It's all about the team. It's not about me."
Yep.
Right.
And he goes, "Even if you're going in the NFL, which I am, I couldn't imagine doing that to my team."
Right.
And which leads into what the question I was going to ask. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get ahead of you, Sean. The conversation I had with the guy today was, well, a lot of these guys you see opt out. How many of them have a lasting impact in the NFL? These guys are like, well, I'm going to the draft. I mean, how many of the guys, since opt out has become a big thing, have made that huge an impact in the NFL. It's, I mean, it's a very small percentage.
I mean, Jabril Peppers opted out of his bowl game, and he's a Michigan man. And I can say this. Has he done much in the NFL? No.
Not really. CMC, Christian McCaffrey, he opted out. Same thing.
I mean, if you're going to get drafted, you're going to get drafted. And I might get hurt. Well, if you're going to get, you've been playing a violent sport your entire life, probably since 4 or 5, for about 15, 16 years. You're now 21, 22 years old. At any point in time during that time frame, you could have gotten hurt. You could potentially get drafted in the NFL, get hurt on your first preseason game, and never play another down of football. Why not at least give your squad? This is just me. Why not at least give your squad that one last game, that one last hurrah? I mean,
I'm with you, Anthony.
I was mind blown because I knew Kenny Pickett had opted out, and then I looked up and he was in the box.
Yeah.
If you were going to the game, suit up and play.
Peppers did the same thing for Michigan. He was up in the box watching it, but not helping his team.
Yeah. So,
and it's a shame, I think. I think they should play.
If the situation, I agree. I mean, being an old baller, I completely agree.
Your scholarship, live out your, commitment to your college that gave you everything.
So I completely agree because being a former, playing and being with my guys, I would want to play that one last game. I still have memories of that last game that I ever played. Ab, hey, shout out to Ab. What's up, man? Happy New Year's to you, man. Ab jumped in though, and he said something important because when you look at some of these guys like Kenneth Walker, nobody knew who Kenneth Walker. Kenny Pickett, both of them are actually prime examples. Nobody knew who they were last year. Last year they would have maybe been 5th, 6th pick. They made the best of their year. They hedged their bets on themselves and made it to this prominent position. They got in Heisman hype. Now both of them are in line to make, if they get drafted in the place that they're expecting, they're in line to make big money, And if all they do from here on out is go to the combine and go, at sometimes it's kind of like, don't jump on me because I know what you're saying, but sometimes it's like, man, hey, especially if he's the one that's the breadwinner for everybody in the whole community. It's like, hey, protect the investment, get there, sign, and then what happens from then on forward, it is.
Hey, look, you generous. You said the whole community. If it was me, I ain't taking care of nobody but me and my mom and pops.
If it's that situation, and I said that specifically because if it's that situation, I understand it. But if it's like, man, you're good, like you can survive, man, play with your guys because those memories of being with your guys. There's nothing like that. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Ab, you can agree with that.
I just feel like you get to the draft, you may think you're going in the first round, top 10. Next thing you know, it's the second round. You're still not there. The third round, you're still not getting picked.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you only have like a 6-figure contract for your first year, and
you were expecting to be this.
You're
and
expecting
you're
these millions, and you only end up with 6 figures. And next thing
which is still nice.
You're only helping yourself.
Yeah, but in 2021, 6 figures is depending on where you're living. It's just like Kate said, it's just enough to take care of yourself. Because there's only here's reality. There are only 32. There's only 1,606 active roster spots on 32 teams. There are only 32 first round picks. That's it. And you look at the number of guys that come out in the draft every year, and they're expecting to go high, and they don't.
Yeah.
So
it's based on what a team needs. Do they need offense? Do they need defense?
Right.
Where are they in the draft? There's so many things to look at for when these players opt out. Maybe a team isn't looking at a Kenny Pickett kind of style quarterback. They want a different style.
Well, we talked. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
When he's supposed to go.
Yeah. Well, we talked about that on Monday. Quarterbacks. I don't know what it is about quarterbacks. Quarterbacks are always they snap them up like rare Pokemon cards. Seriously, they do.
They're looking for them.
Whether
catch them all.
whether a team needs a quarterback or not, they're snapping them up. So if you're a quarterback with high draft capability, yeah, okay, maybe I might be able to see that. But even then, your squad, you know what I'm saying? Your guys that have
where
that.
do you go to? Right.
Because I put it like this. Let's say I'm a projected high round draft pick quarterback, right? And I know my second and third stringers are nothing to write home about. But I got a receiver out there. I got a couple of receivers who were looking to ball out in the bowl game to kind of help increase their draft stock. And a running back whose whole career was based off of me being able to throw the deep ball. So then they weren't looking at him so he could ball out and have 1,000-yard season. And now I sit out, and in the bowl game where these guys have their chance to shine and maybe go from mid-second round draft pick to low first-round draft pick, I've shot them in the foot. That's the thing I'm thinking about.
Exactly.
And I respect that.
I agree
and that's
wholeheartedly with you.
Yeah,
Anthony.
That's very respectable. That's very respectable. And in a perfect world, I think that's the way it should go. We have to move on. But I want to say this. One of the things is we are all taught to follow the leader. We are all taught to follow our parents or those in authority figures. When the coaches are going at will and not thinking twice about the people, how many bowl games do we look at where they're like the interim coaches in here because the original coach has already left to go to his new school? When they're seeing that from them, it's like, oh, well, that means it's just about me. It's all about me. That stinks, but that is where they hate that. That's where we're going. But look, we got to go into the New Year's Six Bowls. We talked about this one. Michigan State comes back with the W. This game was close all the way through, but Pitt was up 21-10. Michigan hung around, and then at the end, the depth, the quarterback, it just didn't work out. Michigan got the pick six to win it. But we got to move on to the Rose Bowl, something I'm very excited about. A team that Katie will not name versus the Utah Utes. Yeah, in the Rose Bowl. Katie, what do you think? What think is going to happen in this one? What is a Ute?
Did you say, excuse me, Mr. Gambini, did you say Ute?
Yeah, two Utes. A little bit in the pregame, and I think we all kind of agree that Utah is going to win this game.
I believe it.
That team down there.
Is there a little hatred, a little bias?
When you're me,
that
team we destroyed.
Oh,
I think Utah's got a good chance to beat that team.
Yeah,
I think that team is pretty defeated after their last game of their season.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you something. Let me get this on camera. How did you feel? Because I know you can still feel that feeling. How did you feel after you finally accomplished that? I know I tried to talk to you and you said you were a bit emotional. How did you feel after finally getting over the hump?
I probably cried like a baby for at least an hour after that game. I'm not going to lie. But, I mean, there's an image of Aiden Hutchinson, which, Anthony, you know that's my boy. I defend him. I love him. He's my Tom Brady.
Great player.
The image of him cradling Stroud after a sack will be ingrained in my head the rest of my life. Like, tell Santa what you want for Christmas. Kind of look like, tell Daddy, little boy, what just happened to you.
Oh.
But nothing is better, nothing is sweeter than when we beat that team. Yeah. That's our Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Hey,
that's
Sean.
our Super Bowl in the Big Ten. And for Michigan to beat that team at home like we did was beautiful.
Yes.
Sean, I'm smelling salt. She just
beautiful.
All over.
I mean, they talk so much trash at us that do you know what our name is by them?
What?
It's either that team up north or we're known as scum, and they spell it little s, little u, big M.
Oh man,
I have seen
those. I have seen.
That's what they call us.
Oh my goodness! So obviously you cannot report on the other team, Anthony. What do you think? What do you predict in this game? Is this? Do we all really agree? I agree, Utah. But what do you think?
I'm scared to say anything because Kate might talk about me, like because our team plays each other today.
Right.
So I agree with Kate. No, real talk. Real talk. Though, I do think. I think Utah is bringing something to the table. Sean, you and I have talked about this. Is that Utah has been playing like a team possessed this season, and they have had time to prepare and prepare and prepare since winning the conference championship. I think they're going to come out there and give Ohio State the what for. Now, I will say this. I think CJ is going to come out with a chip on his shoulder too. I think it's going to be a good scrap for the first. In the first, I think the first half is going to be a good scrap, but in the end, I think Utah is going to wear them out.
I have a feeling Ryan Day is going to want to coach the game of his life to prove that he still is a premier program.
Yep.
And that he still is worthy of recruits. He's still worthy of the players he should get. Trust me, Ryan Day's got a big chip too, because he doesn't want to lose people and lose recruits and commits because of that last game of his season.
You know what? I don't think he's going to. I think that's going to steal some of the resolve of. There's a lot of guys that have gone to Georgia, for example, because even in a year where we lost to Florida, because they want to go to Georgia and be that player that helped Georgia beat Florida. I don't think he's been hurt by this at all.
Ohio's had a couple of players enter their portal, like Bo Nix entered the portal, 5-star quarterback, and has left that program. So he's had some players go portal after that last
Bo Nix was at Ohio State. I thought he played for Auburn this year.
Was it Auburn?
Yeah. Bo Nix entered the portal leaving Auburn.
But yeah, Ohio State's had a few players leave after that loss.
And you got to be honest with you, that it's not a small thing. I know it's outside of the Big Ten and outside of that area. They think it's a small thing, but it is not a small thing. Him losing that game, being the first to lose, and however many games that it was that Ohio State had won, Ryan Day be the first move. Yeah, he has to prove something. They didn't make it to the Big Ten championship. They didn't make it to this is peanuts for them in their opinion. Even though it's the granddaddy of them all, R.I.P. Keith Jackson, it is still small to them because they feel like they should be in the Final Four. So I think you're right. I think he does have something to prove in this game, both him and Stroud.
Oh yeah, that's why I say they're gonna come out swing. I think they're gonna come out swinging haymakers, but we know. If you've ever seen a Rocky movie, you know how that goes. You come out swinging haymakers. The old Italian stallion is gonna, he's just gonna wear you out. It's not how hard you can get hit. It's not how hard you can get hit. It's about how hard you can get hit to keep moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a long game. It's not a sprint. It's definitely a marathon. And this game, I think, will be that. I think most of the games we saw with the Michigan State Pittsburgh game. That game early was 21-10 Pittsburgh, and it looked like they were going to walk away with it. Michigan State worked in there, did it. The Tennessee game, Tennessee had jumped up to a couple touchdowns. That defense jumped out there and did it. But, they came back and went with it. So
I think it'll be a close game.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be like a 27 or 28, like 24 game.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a close one.
But I don't think Utah is. I think the thing that's going to shock Ohio State is Utah is just not going to back down. You remember, Sean, we talked about teams being intimidated by playing other teams, playing larger programs. Utah has not been intimidated by anybody this year, period.
They're paying for something different. They had their two members of their team before the season, one in the summer and one on September 26th. Both actually had an untimely demise being shot. And so that team has been playing absolutely out of their minds in the memory of them. And it showed. Yeah, Anthony, you talked about it. You documented this. Both of those games that they played against Oregon, it wasn't even close.
Nah, but I mean, they're going to beat on you and stomp on you and kick on you and run you over and pick you up and go, okay, let's do this again, and run you over again. And they go, well, what did you learn? And then run you over again and go, did you not learn yet? We're going to try this again for 4 solid quarters.
Right. Absolutely. So, hey, yeah, we're all in unison on that one. We think Utah is going to do it, but hey, Ohio State's not going to go down lightly. We're going to move on to a game that does feature an SEC team. So I'm coming to you, Anthony. The All-State Sugar Bowl. Actually, you have followed both of these teams. Number 7 Baylor versus number 8 Ole Miss. I'm excited about this one, man. Both of these teams kind of put up some numbers, man. What do you think?
I think it's probably one of the most on paper evenly matched bowl games of the New York 6 games. Baylor has Baylor does not get a lot of respect in the Big 12 because, like I told you, it's OU all the time because you have Bob Stoops and then Lincoln Riley. Baylor has not gotten any respect, even with winning the conference championship this year. Still no love in the Big 12. But Baylor, like I said, you can't sleep on them. And then Ole Miss is basically they should change the name of that team to Matt Corral and the Gang, like Kool and the Gang. But Matt Corral, there's no denying that that's a special kid. He's one of the most special players come out of Ole Miss since one of those boys, what his name, Tanning, whatever his name is, played in the NFL. Big Head does commercials now. But I think it's going to be a great game. I think what it's going to boil down to, the determining factor in this game is going to be defense. And Baylor definitely has the stronger defense than Ole Miss does. We talked about the Ole Miss Arkansas game where they put up like 113 points. We know Ole Miss does not play defense.
Right.
We know this.
I think it's going to be a great game.
Yeah.
Baylor does. So we will see what happens here. I think Baylor is going to keep Ole Miss. I think they're still going to get their points, but they're really going to have to work for it. And if this is going to be another tight game, I don't think this one gets. I don't think this one gets out of the 20s. Maybe in the low mid 30s in terms of score between the two teams.
I think Baylor wins this.
Oh, I like that. I mean, yeah, I completely agree with what you're saying, and I think we make all this talk about guys leaving and guys being projected in the draft and opting out. Let's praise this game. Ole Miss, Matt Corral, to my knowledge, is playing in this game.
Yes, sir.
Matt Corral
he's going to be there.
Yeah, he's one of the top quarterbacks, if not the top quarterback, that's probably going to come out in this upcoming draft. And he is playing with his guys amid injuries. He's had injury issues coming into this. He's dealing with it this year. He's going to come into a play. I agree. It's going to be that offense and the health and strength of Matt Corral versus that Baylor defense. I am excited because does Baylor maybe think they were shafted out of getting a shot after they beat Oklahoma State? I mean, realistically, I don't think they were going to get in, but people were talking about it around that day.
Well, knowing how we know that the playoffs are set up right now, there were too many one-loss and no-loss teams. Well, there weren't. There was only 2 undefeated teams going into the conference championships, period. So even with a loss, Georgia only had 1 loss. Cincinnati had 0 losses. You had a whole bunch of other 1-loss teams. And we know how it goes. All of us, even the players, they know how it goes too, because they've been watching football since they were little kids. They know how the CFP goes. Right. I don't think they were going to get in. I mean, we knew coming in if that team that Kate doesn't call by name, if they won, then they were going to get in. We knew if Michigan won, they were going to get in. We knew Bama had to win the conference championship to get in, which they did. Yeah. And we're going to hopefully see you guys again next week, which means we got to come for you first, Kate. But we'll talk about that in a minute. We knew if Georgia, we know if Georgia won or lost, they were getting in. So that didn't leave a whole lot of room for anybody. If Oklahoma or Oklahoma State could have stayed undefeated, one of them would have gotten in. Baylor, not so much.
This is where we talk about expanding the 4 to 8 teams or 12 teams and expanding the college playoff to make it a more level playing field for other teams like a Baylor or like other teams that were on the cusp of being in the top 4.
Right.
They get a chance to play for the national championship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as we don't start looking like the NCAA basketball.
Thank you. We don't need 64. Yeah.
Where people will be like, but wait, let us in.
Right. And then it's just everybody. It's like, nah, bro. Nah,
because I think they need to expand the college football playoff to more than 4 teams, to be honest with you.
No more so than the NFL. That's a bit much. But you got well, actually not so much. You got what? You got two conferences, which you got 16 divisions in the NFL. You've got 10 D1 conferences between P5 and G5. There's no way that can't be done.
No.
So, yeah, they're leaning towards it. Hopefully, we will see. It's all about the dollars and cents. So we're gonna see if they'll move on. And it would definitely be nice as we progressed into it. But we'll definitely see. We'll definitely see. It would solve a lot of these little minor issues that we are having. So hey, speaking of which, one of both teams would probably be represented in that 12. The PlayStation Fiesta Bowl, number 5. Notre Dame plays aforementioned number 9. OK State, baby. Oklahoma State, home of Barry Sanders. Got to shout him out. Katie, what do you think? What you got on this one?
I got Oklahoma State. I think with all the change-ups with Kelly leaving and everything that Notre Dame's got going on, I think, and Anthony has said how good Oklahoma State's playing and everything. I have Oklahoma State with this one. I think there's too much going on in Notre Dame's program for them to be grouped up and ready to play for this game. And I just have watched how they didn't play as sharp as they could have at the end of their season. So I got the Oklahoma State, Barry Sanders school.
Yeah.
I love Barry Sanders. Gosh, I love him.
My guy. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, I gotta agree with you. Notre Dame has been playing well this year, but they lost their coach. We've all known about that. They like this other guy, and maybe they'll rally around him, and it might be close. I think it'll be maybe a 31-24, 31-27 type game. But I think Oklahoma State is going to pull it out. I really trust that D. Anthony, what you got, man?
I got Oklahoma State scoring at least 35. I like Notre Dame, but we know that Notre Dame has not ever really been able to get over the hump. We've seen it in the past where they've gotten as far as the CFP and just got run over. Right. And part of that is due in huge part to their academic restrictions, because everybody on the street can't just come in and play for Notre Dame. It's so I think that's where the rubber will meet the road. I think. Oh, really? You ran like Barry Sanders in high school, bro? We'll talk about that in a minute. Your boy Ab threw you some love in the comments. He said you ran like Barry Sanders in high school.
Mm-hmm. Ran like Trayvon Sanders.
I think I think that's where the rubber meets the road, is that Oklahoma State is going to show these guys. It's almost like they're the little brother that's almost at the black belt that's fighting against the guy that's got a double black belt. I think Oklahoma State's going to put up at least 35 on them, maybe 40.
Nice. Yeah, Notre Dame is not the program that we all knew and loved. It looked like they were getting that way with their old coach, but then, as we've seen, he left. He took the LSU job, right?
Yep.
So
my family.
Can we just talk about that LSU job, how he went from having his northern accent to his southern accent?
Yep, exactly.
My family. I would like a jar of your finest sweet tea and po' boy sandwich, please. He went from sounding like Mark Wahlberg to the judge from My Cousin Vinny. Mr. Gambini, did you say Ute?
I just had to bring that up because that was hilarious.
I was like, where did that come from, man?
I was like, excuse me?
Right.
But I think Notre Dame doesn't know how to finish. They know how to start, but they don't know how to finish.
Gotcha. Yeah.
They start strong. They start like they're wanting it all, and then they kind of just collapse.
Yeah. Yeah, and look, they went 11-1, but they went 11-1 in a down ACC. Okay, so that's not much home to write. There's not much to write home about. There's a lot of people talk about maybe they should be into the Final Four. Like Anthony said, hey, the last time they went and the last couple times they've been in any game that's been prominent, they wiped the floor with them. Notre Dame just has to get back to those days of 89 and 90 with the Rocket, Ishmael, and Tim Brown and all those
man,
guys.
those were some serious Notre Dame squads right there.
Right.
Rocket Ishmael was so much fun to watch for Notre Dame.
Goodness.
As a Michigan fan, I can have mad respect for him.
Yeah. You went through that. Y'all dealt with that. Yeah. So that definitely got to bring them back to those years. And even though they are ranked 5th, it's still like you don't really believe in them like you used to. They used to be Notre Dame, used to be the Alabama. It just in as far as the way they were viewed, like that type of stuff.
Everyone wanted to wear that gold helmet.
Exactly. So, we are gonna go ahead and move on real quick to the one of the Final Four, the Goodyear Cotton Bowl. Cincinnati at number 4 is gonna go ahead and play Alabama at number 1. We know how they got here. Cincinnati undefeated. Alabama, although they struggled, won big in the SEC championship, propelled them into this position. Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say my little piece real quick. I am very excited that Cincinnati's in this game. I talked about it all year. They have a 3-year starter. Their offense is going. There are some flaws. There are some major flaws in this game. Cincinnati's O-line is very suspect, and going up against that monstrous D-line spearheaded by William Anderson is going to be a problem. But, hey, Desmond Ridder, he's been in this position before, always been the underdog. This is great. Realistically, I'm hoping for good things. We know Mechie's out, but Jameson Williams is still a problem. Kobe Bryant won the Jim Thorpe Award, who's the safety, and they have another corner. Both of these guys are day one starters in the NFL, but it's still Alabama. It's still
Bryce
Alabama.
Young,
yeah, Bryce Young and Heisman. That old line is very slept on. Hey, they still have a powerful team. I'm going to go and continue to say it because I'm going to bring in the new year, right? I'm still going to call it 27-21. I think Cincinnati can get it done. They're going to have to jump on them early, but I think they can get it done. But at the same time, man, Alabama is still that monster. There's still that Goliath sitting up there looking down. Saban. And that's the reason why. That's the reason why. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot. One of Katie's many other teams. Katie loves Tom Brady, Michigan, Duke, and Alabama. So, Katie, go ahead and talk about Alabama.
My best friend, my partner in crime, is a huge Bama fan.
Gotcha.
If you want a woman that can talk about a team as well as any man, she can.
Bring it out. Let's go. I love it.
Yeah, I've always had mad respect for Saban. Like, how do you not respect him?
Yeah. Now, wait. Now he had that stint. I'm about to say he had that stint where he was with your rival. Didn't he come to Michigan State for a
little bit there? I remember that, and I was always like,
wait a minute. Did you catch?
I knew they would slump after he left because he was, I think, in my mind, one of their best coaches.
Yeah.
Did you catch though? This is the difference between the love-hate relationship between the in-state rival and the other team. See, Michigan State they call little brother.
Well, coined that.
What's that?
Mike Hart, our running backs coach, coined that.
Okay. See, they call them little brother. The other one is them people over there.
Yeah, we don't even talk about that other team. I can't bring them up in conversation.
The Big Ten rivalries, Anthony, you will know if you dive into them a lot more, are very heated. Some of them.
Oh, SEC rivalries are heated too, but we don't do them like that.
They do it dirty in there. Yeah, you don't mess around and come to the. It's like a different set. It's like, oh, you wearing red, bro? Oh, you don't know this is Michigan territory? I was like, oh, I'm sorry. It was just a red sweater. I'm sorry.
And our game is a maize out, so I got my maize on.
There you go.
So anyway, but
maize.
I think Alabama
maize
wins.
blue.
I think there's no way Saban's going to not win that game.
Yeah. There's
no way Saban's going to come out of that with an L.
Yeah.
I mean, their offense and their defense can really I don't know if Luke Fickell can out-coach Saban.
That's going to be, yes, definitely a David versus Goliath matchup. It's going to be interesting.
But
Anthony.
it would be really it'd be nice to see the Cinderella win of Cincinnati. I just don't see it happening. As much
even
as
if they do, I think
kind
they
of
just have
almost
just one
like
win
to
in them.
see it just because it's fun to see the underdog win. It's Saban.
Yeah, well, yeah. But look, if they did, because this is the thing, Anthony, I'm going to come to you. This is the thing. If they were able to get it, I don't think that they have enough in them to beat 2 Titans. So even if they got the W, I think it would be good for them to get the W just to say, we're here. We're not the little brother. We're not the junior school. We are a viable force that needs to be reckoned with. I don't think they can run the table and win 2 straight. But we'll see. Anthony, what do you think of this one?
I have, due to somebody who I might be on the show with right now, become a convert of the Church of the Great Bearcat. Kate, I know you probably didn't see this show, but we talked earlier about who can beat Alabama. And Sean actually mentioned Cincinnati. This was like week 2, week 3. And I was like, who? Them? Really? But I've watched them run the table this season, and that in and of itself is not an easy feat. 12 games, 12 up, 12 down. They did that. They won their conference championship, and now here they are, and we're getting ready to find out if they can beat Alabama. And to tell you the truth, I think they can. I don't know if I think they can do it today.
They're on the path.
But they're on the path. As Sean likes to say, the race is not given to the swift, nor the battle to the strong. But I do think that Cincinnati might have stopped and picked up a few smooth pebbles in the riverbank on the way to load up the slingshot. So I think that they might knock Goliath in the head a little bit today. And if they hit him in the right spots, as Jimbo Fisher proved, it's just like Rocky Ford. It's like, see, he's not a machine. He's a man. And they can be beaten. Alabama has been beaten. They can be beaten. And
they haven't had one of their strongest seasons this year, Bama. They haven't had blowout wins like they usually do.
Right. So they are vulnerable.
Yep.
From a personal standpoint, I would like to see Alabama win because there's another team playing in the other game today that really needs to beat Alabama and get the monkey off their back.
Oh, Michigan? I know Michigan needs to get monkeys off their back.
Michigan? Really?
What?
Really?
Without further ado.
We do it. Let's go.
Georgia, number 3. Michigan, number 2.
We don't win Michigan versus everybody because of just anything.
Wow.
Sean.
We battle Paul Feinbaum all season.
No.
Oh, we battle Paul Feinbaum and Herb. I can't even say his name.
Herb
Street. And Herb Street and everybody else. Everybody just reluctantly giving Georgia love. They're like, Georgia's number 1 again. And then they can't give no love no place else to say, boy, that defense has been dominant. And then that's it. It's like Brock Bowers wasn't doing nothing. Like Zeus hadn't had the best season he's had all year. And we got these up and comers, a Cook, and then the up and comer and the kid that hurt his leg, he tore out his ACL, tore his MCL, but I think he's back for this game. Like Pickens isn't potentially coming back. Like we fought too. Y'all got the monkey off y'all back. But we still have that monkey. We went from unranked coming into this season. Not even in any. Y'all won a national championship since the last time we did. We got a bigger monkey we got to fight.
To number 2, Harbaugh's got a lot to prove.
Yeah, well, he gonna have to prove it today, and I hope he come ready to prove it. Because I'm telling you, when them dogs come out that tunnel, I'm be hyped. Look, I got a phone call last night. From a 404 area code. That's not Athens, that's Atlanta. But I thought I was at home working out. I was like, I'm ready, coach. I'm coming.
You need me. Look. Hey, look. I think honestly, at the end of the day, this game is going to be won and lost in the trenches. The O line versus the D line. And honestly, the one that I think is the most exciting is going to be, we know, like you said, Anthony, your dogs, Big Baby, that number one ranked defense against the award-winning number one ranked offense of Michigan. Strength on strength. I think that is going to be such
thunder and lightning.
I'm just saying, it's going to be like it's going to be like Neo versus Agent Smith. I mean, you got Big Baby Davis, 6'6", 234 pounds, Skip. 343 pounds, my bad. I gave a man a little extra because he looked like he slimmed down some for the championship game. Oh, that boy won the Outland Trophy and the Bednar Trophy. And then on the other side, back there backing him up.
Back to back.
Kobe.
Well,
spring 2000.
Kamara, we have Mr. JJ McCarthy, we have Thunder and Lightning, Corum and Haskins, who can lead players like he's in the hurdles in the Olympics. We have Mr.
Come on now.
Skip, you see when I start making points, she just cut me off. I didn't even go say spring 2021 Omega top 5 physical engineering major 3.6 GPA. Nate Kobe Dean Buckets Award winner of the year. The boy is just straight nasty. You throw the ball in the flat, you think you got a 10-yard hook, bam, he gonna knock you in the face and knock you down. Who we talking about? Keely Ringo back there. The boy knows when to take a penalty and when to make a good play. I'm just saying that defense is coming for you, and everybody's underestimating the offense. Why? And see, that's the thing. Even she's doing it. She's like, "Oh, Thunder and Lightning, we have the offense. You had the defense. Like we don't have an offense. Like,
I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm glad you mentioned that because let's flip that around. Right, let's flip that around to let's talk about their
Mr.
defense.
Kingajabu.
I never said it.
Turner, Mr. Daxton Hill.
I never said nothing negative about your defense at all. Not once.
Okay.
I got nothing but mad respect for you. I'm just hyped for my team because I want to see my boys come out there and knock head with your boys.
We're gonna knock heads, I have a feeling.
She's just talking about I ain't going out there knocking no heads. My doctor said that my eye will stop twitching in the year 2025 from that one hit I took in middle school when I had playing football. So he said that I will eventually, but Georgia is going to knock some heads.
If Harbaugh needed him.
Who going to suit up?
Oh, Juwan Howard said he'd suit up for Harbaugh.
Juwan Howard better sit down because Herschel still think he can play ball. Herschel still look like he can play ball. Herschel might suit up.
Look,
they said, Juwan, you need to suit up for your own team. Don't worry about
right.
We won't even go there. This is football.
Yeah,
but
let him keep coaching Michigan basketball because he need to work on him.
It's going to be interesting today.
Shots fired, pow pow.
I'm sorry, we did beat him by 20. I'm sorry. Go.
Mike McDonald's been a great add-on for defensive coordinator for Michigan.
Yes. Yeah.
Thanks to brother Harbaugh. He said, you need to go help my brother. So Jim better give him a nice Christmas present.
I think that
our coaching changes have been really the key to our turnaround.
Yeah.
And
I would say
Hutchinson said he's going to do this or die trying. And I feel like he's on that way to die trying.
Well, let's hope he don't die trying. That's a little bit morbid, but still.
But that's such a great story if you look at his dad was also a Big Ten stud, a captain, doing all those things.
He broke his dad's record.
Right.
That's huge. This year.
I love family coming in there doing that. And hey, look, we saw what he did. He got into the Heisman race. Now, on the other side, we're talking about Georgia. We're talking about your guys. Something that Ab brought up. He said, if Georgia wins the championship without going through Alabama again, will it still mean the same, or is revenge necessary for the championships to be legit?
To address your question, brother Ab, I will be completely honest with you. I think that the everyday armchair fan on social media, them and their detractors will say it's not legit. I have been a fan of the Dogs for as long as I can remember. I remember sitting next to the radio, mind you, because I'd rather listen to Larry Munson call the game on the radio than the TV announcers while I was watching the game. and watch Georgia beat Notre Dame for their national championship in 1980. It has been 41 years. And by the time the bowl game, the championship roll around, it'll be 42. It's been almost 42 years since Georgia has hoisted a national championship trophy. If Georgia wins the national championship, whether they beat Michigan, whether they beat Cincinnati, whether they beat Bug Tussle State, it is a legit championship because it waited forever to get it. Now, will it mean more if we beat Alabama in the process? You are absolutely 100% correct. But I would not take anything away from Georgia. If Cincinnati wins today and we win against Michigan and we got to play Cincinnati for the championship and we win, you see me crying. You see me crying like on Glorious. At the 54th, the onlyest family I ever knowed, I be crying. Like when Oprah saw Whoopi at the Thanksgiving dinner, I sat in that jail. I laid it there near right. But when I saw y'all hosting that championship trophy, I know there's a God somewhere. I will. To me, yes, it will still be legit. We'll still have to get the monkey off our back, but it'll be legit.
Nice. Yeah. So, all right, here we go. At the end, Katie, coming to you first. Predictions. What do you think the score's gonna be?
This team is different. We've been saying we're different all year. I have so much faith and confidence in this group of guys. And I know how hard they work, and I know what Hutchinson can do. I know what Ajabu can do. I know what my defense can do. That O-line has been protecting Cade McNamara amazingly all season. And I know we have some good players that can do some trick plays and like the Donovan Edwards play that he had in the game. Michigan can win this. I don't know what the score will be. I'm not going to guess the score, but I truly believe with their heart, their passion, the soul that they've had this season, and how Harbaugh has come back to Harbaugh, Michigan will win. I'm going with, provincially, I've been watching ESPN all week, the underdog. I'm going with my team and the underdog, going with Michigan. They have a lot to prove. They want to prove it. They want to say to the rest of the world, it's Michigan versus everybody. We wear those sweatshirts. We wear those T-shirts. We can do this. We are worthy of going for that national championship. We are worthy. I know everybody has doubts about Harbaugh. I know the hate's there. I know what people have said about him for the last 5 years. But I have a feeling he can do it today. I'm sorry it's got to be against your Georgia Dogs, because I really respect you, Anthony.
Why are you apologizing? The game ain't even been played yet. She like, I'm sorry y'all lost. The game don't play. The game ain't for another 4 hours. She's like, I'm sorry y'all lost to my Wolverines.
But I want this for them. I really badly want this. This team has been so good this year. They've won games on the road that were gritty wins in Wisconsin, Nebraska. I mean, they've gone on the road and won some pretty big games. Penn State. They beat Ohio State. They've proven they can do it. Now, to prove to the world that they are worthy, which I think they are, Harbaugh gets this win. I believe in all my heart that Harbaugh deserves this win and will get this win.
I can dig it. There you go. Couldn't have said it better myself. Here you go, Anthony. What do you think?
Spoken like a true and passionate Michigan fan, and I have all the respect in the world for that. I will say this before I get started. I will admit, and Sean can back me up on this. Sean, when you asked me, when we talked about coaches that were on the hot seat, remember? It was early in the season, and you said, "Do you think Harbaugh survives the season?" What did I say?
I said no. You didn't really. Well, you weren't too kind. You didn't have too many kind words to say about Michigan.
I didn't. It wasn't about Michigan. It was about Harbaugh and his inability to get by Ohio State. And I've said this. I said this. I said this. Michigan could lose all 11 other games, but better not lose to Ohio State. Period. And I didn't think that Harbaugh was going to be able to get the boys up to beat Ohio State. And from that point, I followed Michigan. I followed what they were doing. And over the season, much like with Cincinnati, what Sean brought up, I gained a respect for the program at the University of Michigan, for the coach of the University of Michigan. I started hearing the backstories on the kids on the team. And when they beat Ohio State, I gave them a little very quiet standing ovation in my living room because I wanted to see that. And I'm proud of everything that they have done. Now, having said that, I was born and raised in Savannah, Georgia, about 3.5 hours south of the campus at Athens. I wound up, when I sent out my letters to go to school, when I sent out my applications, I applied to Duke, I applied to Harvard, I applied to Georgia Southern, and I applied to the University of Georgia. Those are the only 4 schools I applied to. I got accepted at the University of Georgia. I don't even know if I got accepted to go to any of the other schools because once I got that letter, that was the only one that mattered. I went off to school. I learned about the Arch and Butts-Mehre Hall and where the guys play, and I went to the games, the home game. The first thing they taught us on campus during orientation was how to call the dogs. Before they taught us where to go on campus, where the student affairs building is, all of that. And because I grew up a fan, I have followed the fan through Vince Dooley's retirement and Ray Goff and Jim Noonan in the down years and the exuberance of Mark Brick bringing the program back, and stood on the sidelines during an actual home game and got to shake hands with Sonny Siler and pet Uga on the head and pat Matt Stafford on the back for a good play that he made. That is a part of who I am. That it's in me. As much as Savannah State is to me, University of Georgia is to me too as a football program. And I think that I'm doing a whole lot of talking. You want my prediction? I don't know what the score is going to be. I think this is going to be probably the hardest fought game that Georgia has had all year because we didn't really face any real competition in the regular season. And unfortunately, the conference was a blowout. But I think this is going to be a hard fought game on both sides. The defense wants blood for how they played in the conference championship. I hope Kirby has made some adjustments in the offense and some of his offensive plans. I see Georgia winning this one by no more than 5. No more than 5. I think it's going to be tight. It doesn't matter. It could be a shootout or it could be a low scoring game. I don't think Georgia wins by more than 5. And that's where I'm going with that. I got the dogs by 5, no matter how high or how low the score is. But I will say this. I'm going to give you the pound out. I'll say good luck to your team, and we'll see you on the gridiron in about 4 hours. Yep. And at the end of the day, I have a feeling that Kate, me, you, and Sean need to start a chat in Messenger. We just going to be texting each other during the game. So I got a feeling we'll be messaging each other during the game, just watching. So yeah, good luck to you boys. And I just hope it's not a blowout in either direction because that's the last thing.
Me too. I hope it's a game, but I really want this for Harbaugh and for Aiden Hutchinson. That boy came back from a nasty injury, rehabbed himself back, and I want this for him and Haskins, my seniors. I mean, I'm getting teary-eyed just talking about my love for this team. I love my Michigan. I love my football team. I love my boys. So, I mean, Aiden Hutchinson was the reason I had to get to a football game this year to see him live and in person. And to see him, the grit and his determination is just unlike anything I've ever seen. He's just he's a good egg.
Yeah.
Amen. Yeah, Hey, I cannot wait. Thank you. I saw that message. I cannot wait
for this game. I absolutely am so excited for this game. Both games, honestly, but this one, you got it so evenly matched. And I just, strength on strength, I just hope all the studs show out and it's just a back and forth heavyweight fight. I am so excited about
And I
this.
just
Ladies,
hope he can do this without injury.
yes. And I hope everybody stays healthy. All those, and that's another thing. Aiden Hutchinson. And again, these games mean something, obviously, because they're, trying to go for the national championship, but you're still a possibility of getting hurt. These guys are still playing with their guys.
Yeah.
It says something,
Blake
guys.
Corum's come back from injury, and he's 100%.
Yeah.
Our safety, Daxton Hill, had to work through some stuff before joining the team in Miami. I don't know if any of you caught that, but he's worked through some family stuff.
Yeah, no, I saw Harbaugh talking about it. Michigan, Aiden Hutchinson, the stud DN, he will play. He's going to be playing in this and potentially both if they win. So
he says only wimps sit out their bowl games.
Wow. Shots fired. This guy's ready to go.
Looking at you, Kenny Pickett.
And Kenneth Walker, all those guys. That's crazy. Look, we do have to say on today, because it is New Year's Eve, we want to wish you and all of yours a happy New Year's.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Be safe.
Happy New Year.
Be safe. Make sure you are where you need to be at midnight and everything. Don't be on the roads. Don't be traveling. Just don't be doing it. That's one of the things Pops always said.
Call a friend.
Yeah, call a friend, get you to where you need to be, but just get to where you need to be. Just not good things.
I heard a statistic on. I'm sorry, Sean. I didn't mean to step on you. I heard a statistic on the radio as I was on my way back to the house to come and get ready for the show. According to statistics that were compiled last year on New Year's Eve, 3 in every 4 people that were pulled over on New Year's Eve were intoxicated above the legal limit. So please, and this is like nationwide. Please be careful. If you gotta go somewhere, go do what you gotta do. Get yourself a hotel room if you got to. I don't plan on going anywhere. I'm gonna be right here in the house. So y'all be safe.
At home today too.
Yeah.
Be safe. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm just going to say one thing real quick. Today's my sister's birthday. Happy birthday to my sister
birthday.
on New Year's
Happy
Eve.
birthday.
Happy birthday. Yes. And actually, this is that's funny. This is the anniversary of the night a couple years ago where I proposed to my beloved Catherine Hughes. My fiance, love you. She's with her family. Her mom they're out with mom and dad and all that stuff. They'll be back tomorrow. So happy anniversary, my dear.
Oh, happy anniversary to one of my favorite couples.
So hey, shout out to you guys.
Happy anniversary, sir.
Definitely want to shout out to positive. And as we knew, 2021 almost over, but this last couple of weeks have been rough. As we knew, we heard about the passing of John Madden. And then Anthony just shared with me Betty White passed this morning. The last
actually, it was yesterday. It was yesterday.
Okay,
yeah.
Yesterday. The last Golden Girl has left us.
99 years old.
Away?
Yeah, 99, and TMZ reported it. And don't ask me how TMZ is always 100% accurate, but she supposedly passed.
That I didn't know that.
She supposedly passed away yesterday at early in the morning. And the thing that comes to mind when I think about this, I was sitting down one night. My wife and I are huge fans, and it's on Hallmark Network all year long at night, except for from October through December when it's Christmas movies. And they were saying that we would look out for one another. We'll always be together, and And Rose, ironically, Rose is the one that says, "But what happens if I'm the last one left?"
Mm-hmm.
I remember that episode.
And here she is, these many years later. She was the last surviving member, and they were just making all of the places, the magazines were talking about all of these big plans for her 100th birthday and blah, blah, blah. And she passes away just a few weeks shy of her 100th birthday.
Aww.
Yeah.
And
of course, My thoughts are with Dickie Vitale. He's battling cancer
Very
in
true.
Sarasota.
Very true. Very true.
He's got to keep his vocal cords rested for quite a long period of time, and because the chemo's attacking him, and just lots of people to think and thoughts and prayers, and
prayers out to you, definitely. That's
yeah.
rough.
I can understand that. That's a rough thing to watch a loved one go through. You know, my wife went through that, so
yeah. So hey, so definitely prayers and thoughts, and going into this new year where we're just, you know, hoping prayers for health, hoping prayers for growth and things like that. And we want to just make sure though we pay homage to those who have passed. So we will have a little quiet silent moment right before we log off for John Madden, and just encompass everybody in that. But for myself, Sean Spencer. Actually, no, real quick, I did want to mention something. So, as you see, we have brought back the Let's Talk College Football thing. We are going to sit there once we come back until the regular year. We already have This Week in SEC, where Anthony has watched every single game. He dives into every single stat. He knows about the teams, players, coaches, all that for the SEC. So we definitely have that, and I'd love that that's building over there. We're going to have the overview of the entire league. We're talking about every school, big and small, and branching off potentially in the future. Katie, I got you for Big Ten, where we do specialize in Big Ten as well. And one day, hopefully, we'll have one for each individual conference and kind of bring it together as like a panel to talk about this. So in this coming year, watch out, 2022. Well, Let's Talk College Football will be back, among other shows. Also, Let's Talk March Madness and college basketball will be coming out. Katie, I know you're excited about that one. Oh, yes. So, and I'm so excited. That's the one thing where it's kind of like football ends, great. Now I can finally focus on college basketball, where my Tar Heels are doing big things. Well, we're trying to work this out. We're trying. Hey, you know, so we definitely want to get into that. But also in 2022, my dear friend down here, Katie, would you like to tell the crowd real quick what do we have brewing in the new year?
Well, we're going to have Let's Talk Football Ladies Edition. The ladies are coming together. I proposed this to Sean one night and said, what would you think about like me and Janae and like Delilah and Ash coming together as women to talk football? And next Thursday night, we're going to have our premiere show of Let's Talk Football, and it's going to be all ladies.
Let's go. Woo!
Girl power.
Let's get it.
I'm actually stoked for that, because
I'm so excited.
There have been times when I have watched Delilah throw some stuff out on you guys on the round table, and y'all be like, okay, and then Nick will go, I'll have to look into that and research that. I did, and you like, let's go. So,
and Sean, if the GOAT beats Dallas, I can give it right back to her.
There you go. That's where I agree with you. Hey, look, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, every person that I bring into, I believe, the Let's Talk Football family has an asset and could talk this game. You know what I mean? That's a prerequisite in my eyes. When you come into this, you got to be able to talk what we're talking about. Katie, Ash, Janae, Delilah, all of them could talk sports, talk football, talk trash, talk all of that with me. Sometimes I got to go back like, I'll be back. I'm gonna let me find out my stats, and I'm gonna come back and talk to you about that, because this is what this is all about. It's about, it don't matter, girl, boy, black, white, yellow. It matters if you love this sport. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. And I love that, because it is, I had nothing to do with this. Okay. This was Katie. This was all organically all she did was say, could you just put us in like a little group chat together so we could talk? I hit Janae. I talked to Janae about it as soon as I got the message. Janae said, let's go. When are we doing it? She was so ready to go. Ash and Delilah were in it. I am so excited because you guys do not know. they got these women know what they're talking about. And
All
they're
day.
gonna bring some good stuff to you. I'm telling you, believe that. Believe that. For sure. For sure. Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you, gentlemen, for letting us have a night.
Oh, for sure.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We know you about to take over, so we just, we just trying to be alongside for the ride. Look, hey,
it's getting to the point. It's getting to the point where the Let's Talk family has grown so big. We're gonna have to sit down and discuss the schedule because after a while we're gonna be doing shows on top of each other. I mean, me and you are. Me and you are.
Sean.
Yeah, that's the first thing she asked.
Shows are.
Like
me
me and you,
so I know when we can schedule ours.
Right. Because me and you are stepping on each other on Mondays if we're not careful with this SEC show. So it's like, you got Monday, you got Tuesday, you got Thursday, Friday. Like there's a show on every. Maybe that's why Nate is on late. So he's like, I don't want to have to compete with nobody. I'm just gonna go on late.
Yo, hey, shout out Nathan Snell. Actually, he's here in the comments. Nathan,
I see him.
He did that before. Look, Nathan was doing that. When I first found Nathan, I was up late doing some stuff, and he was live late night, dominating the game, man. Shout out to him, man. He's actually has 2 shows, episode 9 and 10, that are pre-recorded that will be going on today. I believe around 5 and 6 or 7:30, previewing the bowl game, saying Happy New Year. So definitely check him out. And look, real quick before we go, I definitely do want to, because this is going into New Year, I want to shout out the Let's Talk Football family. Myself, Janae Struther, love you. You already know what it is. You have Nick and Delilah, the Illinois chapter, if you will, killing it, doing that stuff. Katie always help me. Every time I ask you to do it, boom, you're already there, ready to go. You got Ab. Shout out to you, Ab. I see you in the comments. Will, Anton, my guys that have been there from the start a year ago that started up with me. Nathan, Anthony, who have hopped on in our many travels of going out here and doing this. And just, Jared, Ash, Sydney, David, all these people that are just a part of this, that are just growing, trying to do something, just trying to talk about football.
And my man Colin, the brother from another.
Hey, shout out. Hey, yeah, what's he doing, man? Where's Colin, man?
He's got his kid.
Oh, hey, shout out to you, Colin, man. Hey, what's his thing? I ain't gonna steal his thing.
My man came up with it week 1. We were talking about Bama, and he just said, Bama does what Bama do. And that's become our catchphrase. We actually made shirts out of it, and it's starting to pick up a little bit.
Yeah, I believe it. And hey, and no disrespect to either of your teams, but if Bama keeps winning, the shirt might keep selling. Because then they would be a perfect segue into, hey, you can't explain it. They just do what they do.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I got one guy that won a shirt, and he got it for his daughter, and then he got the new sweatshirt with the elephant on it. Yeah, and she's gonna get that this week, and she's going actually going to school at Alabama, and they were already asking her like, "Yo, where'd you get the T-shirt from?" And she's like, "My dad got it." So I expect to see some. I expect to see some things pop off here.
There you go.
If Bama wins today, I expect to sell a lot more shirts.
Yeah, and if they win it all the way and they win the Natty, man, that might be better for business. Soon.
Hey, if they win the Natty, I might have to just quit doing podcasting because I don't even want to talk about it no more. No, I'm kidding. I'll be back. Who am I kidding? I love to talk smack too much.
Don't worry, Anthony. Michigan's winning the Natty, so you won't have to worry about that.
Here we go.
And they're coming back. Look, yo, we gotta go. Hey,
she has been sucker punching me all day. Wait a minute. Hold on. I gotta get my phone. Hang on a second. 911. What's the emergency? Yes, I keep getting sucker punched. Y'all send me some help.
Yo, hey, for me, your boy
Sean can tell you I'm good at that.
Oh, she keeps coming. I gotta shut this one off because she gonna keep coming. It's your boy Sean Spencer. Hey.
I gotta protect my jaw.
Yeah, you see,
Bobby Wee.
Mr. Impersonations, Anthony Handy. Yo, my girl Katie Alverson. Yo, thank you for joining us,
Katie.
Ladies and gentlemen. Yo, I hope you enjoy the games. Tune in. Anthony just told me Wake Forest is up 31-10 on Rutgers. What we expected. Hey, check out. There's a bunch of games going on today, so definitely tune in, check them out. But Happy New Year's to you. Be safe. Tune in. 2022. Let's talk. We're about to do
Happy
this
New Year, folks. We'll see you next year. Holla.
See you next year.
Woo woo.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
I am Janae Strother.
I'm Sean Spencer.
Back.
We are back.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta go out and hold up.
Come on. The lion. Here. The lion. New man on the next so fine. Kirk Cousins.
All right, all right.